Hey everyone, this is Dean with DCA Crypto. Today I'm going to be covering some tips and tricks for you for the upcoming bull run, how to maximize your profits. We're going to cover some different things in this video for you to be absolutely, hopefully prepared for things that could come up in the bull run. When's the best time to take out profits, what you should be doing with your profits when you take them out at different stages in the upcoming bull run. Some of these are going to be really critical for you to capitalize on what's going to be coming in the coming months. So I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, guys, and let's jump into it. All right, so we're going to be coming up on different phases of the bull run. Right now, I think we're kind of in a mini bull run where we could get a correction coming up. It's really going to depend on what happens with these Bitcoin ETFs, like I've said before on my channel. Hopefully they get approved in January. The deadline for the next one is January 10th. If that one gets denied, it's a good chance that they could deny all of them. It's sounding like they're going to approve it, which is going to be really bullish for crypto. But in crypto, we also have the situation where it's kind of like buy the rumor, sell the news. So we're getting all this rumor of these ETFs, and then right when it gets up to the approval point, there could be a sell-off. So just be prepared for that if it happens. Now, it doesn't mean even if they get declined and we get a big sell-off or big crash, I think things will be just fine, because likely we're still going to take off into that bull run after the halving like we always have. We had in the last bear cycle, we had COVID crash, and then we took off into a bull market even after COVID. Now, there was a lot of stimulus coming into the market and stuff during that time, so it's just going to have to depend on what happens with this. But we got a presidential election coming up next year. That's going to be pushing a lot of stimulus probably into the economy as well. Typically, election years are very bullish for crypto and the markets in general, so that could help us along the way. Inflation looks like it's supposedly coming down according to the different data out there. So, it just depends on how these things unfold, but it's looking like things could be, the right catalyst for the upcoming bull run. There's important things that you need to take in mind here. So let's pull up the chart here of Bitcoin and take a look at the last cycle. So the bear cycle before, we did come up here, and Bitcoin got up to like 15,000, and then we had this correction all the way down here to like 6,000 or 7,000. So something like this could still happen. We're coming up here, and we could come up, we could even get up to 48,000 or 52,000 or something, and then we could come back down, to 30, 25,000, 20,000. We don't know what's going to happen, but I'm expecting some kind of downward trend as we get towards the halving. Now, the ETF approvals could push us up higher and into a bull run, but typically in the past that hasn't happened. The bull runs always really taken off after the halving. We had this COVID event here, so we got to kind of take this out of the equation. But as you can see, it just kind of gradually came down here to like 6,000 or 7,000, and then it was probably going to start taking off into this bull run. But we had COVID hit, so there was a big drop here. So is there a black swan event coming? Not very likely. We'll just have to kind of see what happens. But either way, I think we're eventually going to get this bull run. So what's happening right now is, and I've been talking about this on my channel before, I don't want to get into this too much, but because we've been taking off so early, and because in the past we've taken off so early and then come back down, I've been taking out some profits right now. Not on all of my coins, just some of them, because I want to have, funds available in case we do have this correction, to where I took out some profits while we were on the way up. Now, I'm investing these into coins that have not pumped yet, new projects that have launched, seed round investments that haven't launched yet. So if we do get that correction, it's not going to affect the coins that I move my profits into very much. So that's kind of the play that I'm playing right now. But as we get into this cycle here, once we start really taking off into this bull run, we'll probably get some of these 38% pullbacks or so. As you can see, we came up here, we got to pull it back. Came up here, got a little pullback. Came up here, got a big 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 pullback. So there's going to be these pullbacks, and my plan is to always take out some profits Every time we take off like this, I'm going to take out some profits, and then take off like this, take out some profits. And depending on where we're at in the cycle, I may or may not reinvest those profits. I'm more than likely, if we're getting into, like this is 2021. So in this cycle, that's going to be 2025. If we're into 2025, I'm likely not going to be reinvesting my profits into any coins at that point, because I just don't know if we're going to get a double top like we did last time, because that hasn't happened before. We've typically, if we looked at the past, we've typically just come up into this spike and then came back down, never really had a double top like we did here. So I'm not going to count on another double top happening. It is a possibility, but I want to be taking out some profits on the way here in case we crash, and that's it. So that's my strategy right now and what I'm most likely going to do. On a lot of my bigger coins, I'm just looking to maybe get a 10x out of them at the most, and then some of my micro caps in that, depending on which one, like Miria, I'm going to start taking out some profits on that one. When I start getting like a 20x, I'm going to take out 10% and double my initial investment, and then I'm going to take it out in chunks on the way up there. It starts, that's going to be around the 3 cent mark. When it probably gets up around 7 or 9 cents, I'll probably take out like 20%. If we get up over 10 cents to like 14 cents, I'll probably take out another 20%, and so on. 19 cents, I might take out another 20%. And then just small increments on the way up there. The key thing is not to focus on the price point so much, but to make sure you're taking out small chunks on the way up. You don't want to sell your entire coin during the main bull market, because we can keep going up. So you want to leave some in case we do go higher. You can take out a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. But the important thing is to make sure you get that initial investment out, especially if you're up 5 or 10x. That way you're riding with profit at that point, and you're not at a risk of losing your initial investment. If you look at the rainbow chart here, this last couple cycles, the first cycle here we got up in the deep red, the second one we got up in the deep red, the third one we got up into the deep red, but not all the way up. And then the fourth one we only got up into this dark orange. We never got up into the deep red. So I'm expecting this to kind of start flattening out more. In this bull run, we might only get up into the light orange, or maybe a little bit into the dark orange, but not up into this the red or the dark red at all. We might not get up here at all, because if you look at late, let's go into 2025 here. I'll put this marker over towards like September 2025. So as you can see in the dark red, that's $300,000 to $400,000 Bitcoin. In the red, that's a $200,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin. In the orange, you're talking $180,000 to $230,000 Bitcoin. I honestly don't think Bitcoin is going to get that high. That's just me. I'm thinking maybe 150,000 at the most. So likely into the regular orange zone here, and the yellow to orange zone is probably where I'm thinking we're going to top out. I could be wrong on that. That's just a guess, because I just don't see things going that crazy in the upcoming bull run. I just see us kind of rounding out with each bull run from here on, and just getting less and less intense. It's still fantastic returns if you're looking at $150,000 Bitcoin. Before it even gets to 100,000, I would be taking out some extreme profits at that point, because you just don't know where the top is going to be. We might only top out at 89,000 or something ridiculous with Bitcoin. Maybe we get to 99,000 and we top out. We don't know. So you want to take out profits on the way up and be safe with your investment. I'm going to be sharing with you guys throughout this bull run when I'm taking out my profits, so when I'm taking it out. That doesn't mean you should follow what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, and what I got burnt in the last bull run. I made 6 figures, but I'd never realized those profits because I never took it out in time. I kept waiting because I was assuming that these coins were going higher, that Bitcoin was going to 100,000, and I just kept waiting for these better prices because I didn't want to take out any profits and miss out on those gains that I could be making if I just waited. But I made the mistake in not taking those profits out, and then we had the crash and the dip that just kept dipping, and it kept dipping and it kept dipping. and people thought the market was going to recover a little bit. You get some hope, and then boom, it goes lower. And you get a little bit of hope, and then boom, it goes lower. And it just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And each time your portfolio just fades away more and more until you're almost down to nothing. Riding that way all the way down is very painful and very depressing. So I don't want that to happen to you guys. Make sure the goal is, don't worry about hitting the top, guys. Don't worry about it. Leave a little bit of a moon bag in there, maybe 10% of your coins in case, we keep going to the moon or Mars with it. But just make sure you take out profits and increments on the way up. Put those off to the side. Keep them out of the market. Keep them safe once we get into this bull run. If we're past the halving, I'm, especially towards late 2024, I'm probably not going to be reinvesting any of my profits into the bull run unless there's some kind of NFT mint that I think is going to be really hot and give me quick returns on my investment. I might put a little bit into something like that. You had those taking off in the last bull run where there were certain NFT mints that you could get involved in if you're in the right Discord or whatever, or the right Telegram group or whatever, where you can get into some of these NFT mints that you're going to be able to flip them for instant profits because they're going to sell out in seconds or minutes. That's always an opportunity. I might take advantage of some of those, but I'm going to be really hesitant to do a lot of those in this bull run because, again, some of those NFT mints, you can really get burned if you don't know what you're doing. So you always want to be careful with those as well. So just start thinking about price targets. You want to take your profits out in the upcoming bull run and maybe go a lot less than that, just for your initial profit. Nobody knows the top. Everybody thought the top was over 100,000 with Bitcoin in the last bull run, and they weren't even close with it. So, don't expect Bitcoin to get to 150 or $200,000 in the bull run. That might not even happen, and I wouldn't even count on it necessarily getting to 100,000 for sure. Sure, that could definitely happen, but you just don't know. So be careful. I'm going to keep reinvesting my profits up until about the halving, and then after that, I'm probably just going to sit back and wait and see what happens for a while. We might get a correction after the halving like we have in the past, just a small one or so. It's hard to say what's really going to happen. Nobody knows for sure. If you listen to Ben Cowan and some of the other guys out there, they think a big correction is going to happen, and they've thought it was going to happen this whole time. We've been bullish, and it hasn't happened yet. So you could have missed out on a lot of gains if you listen to them. So the key thing is to get some funds into the game and make sure you're leaving some off to the side just in case there is a correction, that you can put some funds in during that correction and get your dollar cost average down. But that's pretty much what I want to cover on this video. Not want to get into too much more detail on this. Video is longer than it should be already, but I appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of the month, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button, guys. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you got any questions, hit me up in the chat below, guys, on the video, or you can jump into the free Telegram and we have gem hunting and stuff in there, and we always helping people out with any questions they have. Or you can check out my Patreon Discord. I opened up a new tier on that one as well because the first one, the $9.99 a month one, filled up, so there's no more availability in that one. All 100 spots are full. But if you want to jump into the next tier, you can do that as well. I'm just trying to make it so it doesn't grow too huge, so I want it manageable. So I am adjusting the prices as we get more and more members. So if you want to jump into that, feel free to do that as well. Otherwise, we have the free Telegram. But I appreciate all of you who watch my videos and support my channel, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.